Jerry. I have a family to support. Hear me? I want to stay in Arizona. I want my new contract. But I like you. Yes, I like you, Jerry. My wife likes you. You're good to my wife. I will stay with you.
That's great. I'm very happy.
Are you listening?
Yes.
That's what I'm going to do for you. God bless you, Jerry. But this is what you're going to do for me. You listen? Jerry?
Yeah, what can I do for you, Rod? You just tell me, what can I do for you?
It's a very personal, very important thing. Hell, it's a family matter. Are you ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
I want to make sure you're ready, brother. Here it is. Show me the money.
Looking good, but I think I'm taking too long. Back to the spot for a Glock. I took a long overfloss, but still got a knock.
Money! Jerry, does that make you feel good just to say that? Say it with me one time, Jerry.
Show you the money.
Oh, no, you can do better than that, Jerry. I want you to say it with you with meaning, brother. Hey, I got Bob Sugar on the other line. I better hear you say it.
Yeah, no. Show you the money.
Not show you. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Yeah. Louder.
Show me the money.
That's it, brother, but you got to yell that shit.
Show me the money.
I need to feel you, Jerry.
Show me the money.
Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money. I am a role model, Jerry.
You're on mute, Dorian.
I hope you have your notes ready. That's one of my favorite clips always. Show me the money. Folks, this is a business. And what I started finding out when I was talking to some of my team members one time, sometimes people don't realize it is a business. And so as a business, your goal is to do one thing and one thing only. Your goal is to make a profit. If you don't have a goal to make a profit, guess what this is, folks? It's a hobby. And guess what hobbies are? Hobbies can be very expensive. Fortunately for us, this is not an expensive hobby, but it can be an expensive hobby if you don't take advantage of it. So we're going to talk tonight about showing you the money. And I'm going to walk you through it. So, because I think a lot of times we don't really see or understand where the money is. And so let's talk about the money in Planet Marketing. When somebody gets in, they pay $179.95, real basic right there. They pay $19.95 for Planet Marketing. That's what? $199.90, $200, a dime, throw in a dime, $200, right? That's for both business opportunities. Now, this is more so, especially for the new people, but it's for the veterans too to understand. Do you understand with both businesses? Here's the breakdown of how that money, that initial investment goes, Carolyn. The field, the reps, we are the reps in Planet Marketing. So when a rep makes the sale, guess what happens? That's considered the field. That's what you call the field. The field reps, out of that $199.90, get to earn $135. Did you just hear what I said? The field reps earn $135, which leaves $65 for Planet Marketing and IntelliTravel. Folks, do you understand how that breaks down right now? The field gets $135 out of every sale that takes place. So, Deidre, every sale that takes place, that $200 goes forth. $135 is going to come to the field. Both companies only keep $65. People always wonder where the money is. The money is right there and it's broken down. So let's talk a little bit. So what happens is the field actually keeps 68% of the money. So this is a unique business, folks. When you go to work, do you get most of the money or your boss gets most of the money? Does the job keep most of the money? If you're in sales, the job keeps most of the money or you keep most of the money? In this business, on every sale, The field keeps 68% of the money. The lion's share of what's taking place is coming to the field. That should excite you right there when you understand it. The companies only operate on 32% of that initial sale. So that's the first thing to understand. You as a rep get to earn the lion's share of what's taking place. Okay, that's the first thing we want to understand. Now, let me jump over here and make this a little clearer so we can understand. This is our compensation plan. So on our compensation plan, I'm going to walk you through it just like if we're showing the plan right here. Every sale you make, there's a $50 direct sale commission. A lot of times when we're talking to people, we're trying to talk to them about getting in. No, you only make the money when you sell a business. So guess what? They decide to partner with you, Bell. When they partner with you, guess what happens? You make that $50 direct sale commission. Now, the second form of income is the 50% check match. And sometimes I'm not sure, Tiffany, we're actually clear on this. So here's how it works. Let's say this is Jerome. So now Jerome makes a sale to Renee. When Jerome makes that sale to Renee, Renee decides to partner in business with Jerome. Guess what happens? She pays her $200. Guess what happens, Jerome? You earn that $50, that $50 direct sale commission. Now, Renee might talk to Carolyn here. And sometimes this is what we really don't understand. From this point on, when Renee got into business, she is always coded to Jerome. Now, what happens is Jerome made the $50 when he made the initial sale. Guess who makes the sale on Carolyn? Because Renee made the sale, Tiffany, guess what happens? Renee now earns the $50. You see how that works? It moves there. Now, what happens to Jerome? Because Renee is coded to Jerome forever, to infinity and beyond, Buzz Lightyear, infinity and beyond. Guess what happens every time Renee makes a sale? Renee makes 50. Guess what Jerome makes? A 50% match, $25. Every time, guess what? Renee makes a sale, guess what Jerome earns? That $50. So now Renee makes the sale, she makes 50. Jerome earns 25. Renee makes a sale, makes 100, makes two sales, makes 100. Guess what Jerome earns? 50. Renee makes 500. Guess what Jerome earns? 250. Renee makes 1,000. Guess what Jerome earns? 500. Renee makes a fortune. Guess what happens? Guess what happens to Jerome, folks? Half a fortune. Now, I want to jump into here because I think this is where the disconnect comes. And I want to use some examples of how to understand the team bonuses. Because a lot of times people don't really understand the team bonuses. So I want to jump over here. I'm going to bring up the Excel screen. And can you see my screen? Nod your head. Okay. So I'm going to put some things up here. So when somebody makes a sale, they're considered the sponsor. You sponsored that person. You introduced them to the business. So when you sponsor somebody, we're going to put 50 right there. Now, what happened is in the situation that we use, the sponsors sponsor, two words, sponsor. So in that case scenario, Jerome was the sponsor. Well, Renee was the sponsor. Renee made $50. Jerome is the sponsor. So guess what he made? A 50% match. You see how we got to that? That's $75 that went to introducing a person into the business. Now, a lot of times what happens, Carolyn, we talk about this team bonus. What happens is there are 6 levels of team bonuses. So let's talk about the 6 levels of team bonus. How does that 6 levels work? Well, the 6 levels are reserved. And let me tell you how they're reserved, Nolette. The goal builder gets $10. The 1-star director gets $10. The 2-star director gets $10. The 3-star director, yeah, I spelled that wrong, that's okay, gets $10. The 4-star director gets $10, and the 5-star director gets $10. If you add that up right there, folks, that's $60 in $10 team bonuses. Y'all see where I got that from? $60 in $10 team bonuses. So if you add the $60 plus the $50 and the $25, that's $135. Again, the field gets the lion's share. Now, what most people don't understand is every time a sale is made, $135 goes out. So what I want to do is I want to put some scenarios up here. So I'm going to put example 1, because this way you'll understand it. And we're going to go through a couple of examples. Example number 1 here. And so let's say a new person under Joy. This new person makes a sale, okay? So the new person makes the sale. So what takes place when the new person makes the sale? I'm sorry, my mouse is not working, so I'm having to use the little pad here. I usually like to use a mouse. So what happens with that 135? So there's the new person. So there's 4 levels. Let's talk about the levels. First, there's the sponsor. Remember I told you about the sponsor? Then, Carolyn, I told you about the sponsor's sponsor. Remember I told you about that? Okay. So we got the sponsor. We got the sponsor's sponsor. Then I told you about the goal builder. They get a cut too. Then I told you about the 1-star director. I told you about the 2-star director. I told you about the 3-star director. I told you about the 4-star director. I told you about the 5-star director. And I told you about the 6-star director. Okay, so we're going to lay all that out. Now, in the chat, how much did I say the sponsor gets? You introduce somebody to the business. This new person under Joy introduced somebody to the business. How much money was there? $50. That's right, Kat. $50 is right there. So there's $50 right there for the sponsor. Now, somebody tells me in the chat, how much is it for the sponsor? How much is there? $25. Okay, Paula, $25. You're right. The sponsor, so guess what happens? Sponsor get $25. This is a new person under Joy. That person earned $50. The sponsor earns $25. How much did I say the goal builder gets? Skylar said $10. So there's $10 tied in to the goal builder. How much does the 1-star director get? Jennifer says $10. How much does the 2-star director get? Anybody know? Guess what? Tiffany Davis said $10. How much does the 3-star director get? 3-star director, Ross says $10. How much does the 4-star director get? In fact, I need to take 6-star off of here. No bonus there. Okay, Bianca says $10. And how much does the 5-star director get? Anybody? Tiffany, again, the other Tiffany said $10. Folks, that's where the 135 is. So it's $135. Every sale that takes place It's $135. Now you got that and understand the 135, and sometimes laying it out this way really helps you understand. Now I want to show you something else with the example here. Now let's see who made the money here. Now, as a new person, how much did that new person make? Somebody say how much that new person made. In this example, we'll lay it out. Put it in the chat. They made $50, Celestine. You're correct. Who else made money in here? Now, I told you the new person was under Joy. So who was the sponsor? Joy's the sponsor, right? So Joy is the sponsor. So Joy makes what? The $25, right? You see that right there? Now, watch this. Not only is Joy the sponsor, who is the goal builder? Well, tell me who's the goal builder?
Everybody.
Is there a goal builder? Is there a goal builder in this? Joy. Christy says Joy. So Joy not only gets the $25, guess what happens, LeVar? Joy gets the goal builder bonus. Who is the one-star director? The one-star director. Who's the one-star director? If you can mute yourself, please, because that'll throw me off a little bit. Okay, so here's Nada says from St. Croix, Joy is the one-star director. You see how that's working? Who is the two-star director? Carolyn, who's the two-star director? Tell me who's the two-star. Jerry answered it for you. Joy. Joy is the two-star director. Who is the three-star director? Three-star, Celestine again. Joy is the three-star director. So guess what happens when Joy has a new person that decides, guess what? I want to build the business. I'm going to start. I'm going to get. So that new person made 50, but guess what Joy made? 65. Y'all see how I got to that? Now, guess what happens? There's two more levels here. What happens to those two levels, Tiffany? Guess what happens? Joy's sponsor is named Cedric White. Now, guess what happens with Cedric? Who is the four-star director? Joy is a three-star director. Who's the four-star director? Y'all tell me. Cedric is a six-star director. But guess what? There is no four-star director between Cedric and Joy. So guess what? The higher pin gets that money. So guess what Cedric earns? Carolyn, Cedric earns the 4 and the 5-star. So Cedric makes $20 on that scenario. Y'all follow that? Now do you follow that? That makes sense? Does that clear it up for some people to understand? Every sale that makes when Joy has a new person, that happens to be the breakdown. The new person made 50, but guess what Joy made? 65. Guess what Cedric made? Cedric didn't even know about the sale. But guess what Cedric made? $20. Can you imagine 100 people coming on your team within this week? And guess what happened? That's Cedric. And guess what happened? $2,000. And guess what? You don't even know who came in. You see, that's real life scenario. Now, let's take this whole example and we're going to copy this right here. We're going to make it a little easier for me. And we're going to put it right here. And now we're going to do example 2. Now, example 2. We're going to see how this works and play out because I want y'all to get this. Now, I sponsor somebody. Now, I'm a one-star director. So I sponsor somebody. What happens now? Who's the sponsor, folks? Tell me who's the sponsor. I just told you who the sponsor was. I introduced somebody to the business. I'm the sponsor. So guess what happens right here? I'm the sponsor. I earned the $50 now. Now, who's my sponsor? My sponsor is Melinda Crooks. Guess what Melinda earns? $25 because she's my sponsor. She introduced me to the business. I'm a one-star director. It doesn't matter who is above you. They earn $25. Now, I got a question. I'm a one-star director. Who's the gold builder? Who's my gold builder above me? I'm a one-star director, so guess what? Guess what, Carolyn? I'm the one-star director and I'm the gold builder. So guess who gets the gold builder money? Me. And as a one-star director, guess what else I earned as a one-star director? The $10 team bonus. So guess what? Not only did I earn the $50, but I earned the gold builder and I earned the one-star. So guess what I earned in that scenario? I earned $70 for the sale that I make. So every sale I make is worth $70 now. Melinda made, guess what? $25, but guess what Joy made? Joy is, guess what? The 2-star director and the 3-star director. So guess what? She gets $10 each. And guess what Cedric gets? I call him Big Papa. He makes that money. And guess what happens, folks? That's the $135. Every sale I make, again, Cedric gets that $20. You see how that works right there? Y'all starting to see how this works? Got scenario number 3, folks. We're going to have fun with all these different scenarios, and you're going to see how all this breaks down. And you're going to get it, and then you're going to be like, man, I'm going to get this money. So let's talk about the next scenario. Here's my next scenario. Let me bring it up. I have a DIT. Tiffany, her name is Selena. And so let's say Selena introduces a new person. Now, Selena is a gold builder because DITs are still gold builders, right? So we're going to bring a new person into this mix right here. So who's the person that introduced the new person? It's Selena. It's not me no more. So Selena, guess what? She makes the $50. Now, who's Selena's sponsor? I just told you. Who's Selena's sponsor? Put it in the chat. Selena is the gold builder. I am. And so guess what I earned? $25. But I just told you Selena was a gold builder. So who gets that gold builder bonus? Selena does. So now Selena doesn't make just $50. Guess what Selena makes? $60. Now, guess what I make now? Instead of just the $25, I was her sponsor. But guess what? I'm the one-star director. So guess what I'm going to make now? $35. You see how that works now? You following me, Carolyn? You see that? See how that works? And guess what? Again, Joy is the 2- and 3-star director. And guess what? Cedric's still making money right there. Y'all see how this works? It doesn't matter what the scenario is. Cedric's making money. Now, let's talk about example number 3. Now it's starting to get fun, folks. It's going to start getting fun. You see how it changes each time? Now, let's say Corey's a brand new Gold Builder Plus on the team. He's going for 20, probably by next week, he'll be a 2020 member. And so Corey is now a Gold Builder Plus. Okay, so let's Corey Gold Builder Plus. That means he sponsored at least 9 people who are agents and reps, folks. Now, let's talk about the scenarios that go on here. Who gets the $50? Corey introduced somebody to the business. Who gets the $50? Corey does. So Corey gets $50 for introducing somebody to the business. Now, who's the sponsor? Who's Corey's sponsor? I just told you who Corey's sponsor is. Selena introduced Corey to the business. Now, because Ebony Selena introduced Corey to the business, she is his sponsor. So guess what the sponsor gets? $25. Now, who is the goal builder in this scenario? Who's the goal builder? Tell me who's the goal builder in the chat. Corey. Yep, see, some people say it's Selena. But guess what? Corey is a goal builder. Selena is a goal builder. Guess who gets the $10? The first goal builder. So since Selena is up here, the first goal builder is the one immediately. So guess what? Selena is right here. She introduced Corey to the business. They're both goal builders. So guess what happens? Corey not only gets the $50, but in this scenario, he gets the goal builder's bonus. So guess what he gets? $60. See, I told you how you start everybody thought Selena gets that money. Now, I got a question. Who gets the one-star director? The one-star director. Who gets that? I do. That's right. But I only get, guess what, in this scenario? Hold on, what's going on? I was making a lot of money on those other 3 scenarios. Guess how much I make on this scenario, folks? $10. So when Corey's a goal builder, Selena's a goal builder, I'm the one-star, I only make $10. Because guess what? They both cut me off. You follow me? Yeah, Tiffany, I call it cut me off. Took my money. But I want them to take my money. Because that's right. I want them to grow. I want them to prosper. But watch this, folks. When I broke this down one day, I said, hold on. Now in this scenario, guess who is the 2 and 3 star? Joy still the 2 and 3 stars. You see that, Skylar? So guess what Joy gets? $20. Guess what Cedric gets? $20. And so guess what happened? I started thinking, Sandy laughing at me. I started thinking, hold on. Everybody in this scenario, I might have done the plan. I might have closed them, but hold on. Everybody else making more money than me. I got cut off by Joy. I got cut off by Cedric. I got cut off by Corey. I got cut off by Selena. And so guess what happened? It's designed to make you keep pushing. Now we're getting good. That was number 3. Oh, here we go. What example was that? Number 3 or number 4? Okay, hold on one second. Anybody keeping track of me? I think it was number 4. Okay. Now let's take this last scenario. Y'all talking about show me the money is. So let's do it again. Final time. And let's see. I didn't copy it right. I'm gonna copy this whole thing. Is this making sense to y'all? Y'all, anybody understand? Is it helping anybody understand how the money is made? Now, the last scenario. Every time a sale is made, folks, there's 135 on the table. And what I'm showing you is, guess what? Everybody gets to grab a piece. Now, here's the last scenario. The last scenario is Corey, who's the Gold Builder Plus. Guess what? His new person sponsor somebody. In fact, let me say it's Melissa. Melissa is a new silver builder about to cross gold. By next week, she'll be gold builder. So let's say this is Melissa. She was sponsored by Corey, who's a gold builder, and he's under Selena, right? Now, Melissa is a new silver builder. Melissa makes the sale. When she makes the sale, what does that make her? That makes her, Sandra, the sponsor. So guess what the sponsor gets? Melissa is the sponsor. So guess what Melissa gets? $50. For every sale Melissa makes, LeVar, she makes $50. Now, who's Melissa's sponsor? We talked about it. It's Corey. Corey is Melissa's sponsor. So guess what happens to Corey? Guess what, Nolet? Corey makes $25. You understand that? Y'all following me? Now, who is the gold builder? I just told you who's the gold builder. That's right. Corey is the gold builder. So not only does Corey make $25, Corey makes what? $35. Now, who is Corey's sponsor? Corey's sponsor is the gold builder. It's Selena. I'm going to come back to her. Now, I'm going to come back to her. Who's the one-star director? Dorian. So I get $10, and Joy gets $20, and Cedric gets $20. But hold up. There's a blank spot in here. Now, what's that blank spot? Selena. How much money did Selena get on that sale? Nothing. She didn't get no team bonus. She didn't get nothing. She will earn on the matrix, but she doesn't earn anything. Now, that's a good thing because she wants her team is growing. But you see what happens here, folks? This $10 for every position, and most people don't understand that $10 is in play. Now, the question is, how much of those $6 $10 bills do you want to earn? When I started figuring out about the $10, folks, guess what I started saying? I'm in a rush right now to go 2 and 3 star. Why? When I go 2 and 3 star, guess what happens? Instead of me getting $10, guess what I get? $30. You follow me now? Because I get the 1, the 2, and the 3 stars. And guess what happened? Guess why that's going to push Joy to go 4 star? That's why we're helping her. We're going to go 2 and 3 star, and guess what that's going to do? Push her to 4 star. So guess what's going to happen? I'm going to end up cutting Joy off of that, but she's going to end up cutting Cedric off. But he's happy that hundreds of people are growing in his organization. And so the goal is not to ever stay at the same position you are. It's designed for you to keep growing, for you to keep growing and break the bank. Does that help anybody understand the money right there? Now, I want to explain to you, let's talk about this, the matrix. Let's jump past this and understand some parts about the matrix. This was probably the most elusive for me to understand. Now, Angie understood it from the beginning. But how many people like me, anybody ever have a problem understanding what this matrix was? And tell me in the chat if anybody had this matrix. I didn't understand. They were talking about 3x9 team building matrix, and I was like, I didn't care how much you talked about it. I didn't understand it. Tiffany, I only understood one number. What's the number I understood on this program? I knew there was $118,000 in this compensation plan. And I was going to figure it out how to obtain that $118,000. I didn't understand it. I mean, they explained it to me probably about 6 or 7 times, and I still didn't understand. I was like, matrix, what? When I got into business, I didn't understand the matrix. I mean, Jory and them didn't have time to talk to us when they got into business. They were trying to build it. And so I didn't understand the matrix. I didn't understand the urgency of building. I didn't understand none of that. I didn't understand how you pull the money out. All I knew, there was $118,000. So I'm going to give you an analogy, because how many people need to understand how to explain it? Does anybody like me, when you first explain it, you just get tongue-tied and your guests be looking at you like crazy, like you don't know what is the, do you lose your guests when you talk about the matrix? You know what I mean? Your guests actually go into the matrix. You know what I mean? You lose your guests. Somebody said, Toya said, I don't even try. That's right. Okay, Toya, I'm going to give you a great example to understand. So write this one down. How many people have been to a concert? Put in the chat who your favorite entertainer is. Put in chat who your favorite. Let me see some of the people who y'all like to listen to. Who's doing some of your favorite entertainers? Put it in the chat. Let's see what comes up. Maze, James Brown. Oh, he ain't performing no more. Luke ain't performing no more either. Kid Sweat, Prince, they ain't performing no more. Okay, but Kim. Okay, anybody else have somebody? Rest in peace, Michael Jackson. Okay, look, Earth, Wind and Fire. Patti LaBelle. Okay, Charlie Wilson. Beyonce. Okay, let's say this. Here's the scenario when you explain the Matrix a simple way. What you'll tell your guests is this. Say, I'm going to explain this Matrix, which was a little difficult for me to explain, a 3x9 team building matrix, but you could say this to you. Say, it didn't make sense to me, and guess what? It might not make sense to you, but I'm going to use this analogy. Let's say we're going to a concert. We're going to the Beyonce concert. Everybody can relate to Beyonce. Queen B. Queen B is having a concert, and you can nod at your guess. You understand that, right? Let's say Beyonce, they're going to do the concert at Mercedes-Benz or whatever stadium is in your place. You might have a different stadium, but whatever stadium it is, you put it to your place. So, I live in Atlanta. We have a Mercedes-Benz stadium. So guess what I tell my guests? Guess what? They're going to do the Beyonce concert at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And Mercedes-Benz can hold 100,000 people. 100,000. And now guess what your guests are getting? A visualization of the concert. And now you tell your guests, Tiffany, you said, but they're going to set the concert up just like this Matrix. So on row 1, they're going to put down 3 seats. On row 2, they're going to put down 9 seats. On row 3, they're going to put down 27 seats. They're going to put down, each row is going to grow by, guess what? By 3. So guess what? That's what all these seats are. It's a growth by 3. On the 4th row, 81 seats. On the 5th row, 243. All the way down, exponentially, guess what? 19,000 seats on the last row. Your guest now has a visualization of a Beyonce concert. Guess what? And the seats are going like this. They understand this. Your guest got it. So, Tiffany, guess what happens? You say when you add all these seats up, guess what? We're not even filling up the whole stadium. There's only 29,000 seats. And guess what? Now, here's the next step you tell your guests. The promoter is going to allow you to make money putting people in these seats. How many people are you going to put in these seats? They're going to pay you $4 per person who you put in the seats. How many people are going to put a lot of people in those seats like me? At a Beyonce concert, I'm going to be outside selling tickets. I'm going to be up the street selling tickets. And guess what? You're going to put a lot of people in those seats. And your guest has this visualization of a Beyonce concert and selling these seats for $4. But then you tell your guest this. Here's the critical thing. You don't know 29,000 people. So how are you going to sell all those seats? Guess what? The promoter comes back to you and says, you know what? I'm not only going to let you put people in these seats, I'm going to let you go out and find some of your family, some of your friends, and I'm going to let you put together a team, and guess what happens? I'm not only going to pay them $4 per person you put in the seats, I'm going to pay you $4 per person. Your guests now are like, oh, I can get people to help me? Guess what your guests are thinking now? Uncle James, Aunt Judy, your guests have a visualization of filling up these seats. Who can I put in these seats right here? And your guest has that visualization. So what happens, folks, think about this right here. Your guests are thinking about all the people. Now you let them know. The promoter says this. I'm going to put one caveat on it. I know Tiffany can put a lot of people, knows a lot of people, but I'm not going to pay you until, guess what? You personally sponsor, you personally invite 2 people. You have to personally have 2 people you personally invite. Tiffany can't do all this work. And so you have to personally invite 2 people. That making sense to y'all? Now, what happens is you let them know and you point to the numbers. Guess what? How you get paid the $156 on the third row? You have to have 3 people. Not a new 3 people, the same 3 people. You see, it's right here for you, folks, and that helps you go Bronzeville. And then you tell your guests, for every row you want to unlock, that's the number of people you need to personally introduce. And your guest got this visualization of a Beyonce concert. You putting people in the seat, you get $4 per person, and guess what? Whatever row, and when this row fills up, I get that $4 per person on that row. They understand it. When you want to get the $480 on the 4th row, how many people you need? 4. And so you break it down that way. And guess what? When you want to earn the $118,000, guess what? You need 9 on the 9th row. And so when you explain that to your guests, it makes it a little bit more, palatable for them to take in and understand versus a 3x9 team. When I say 3x9 team building matrix, I went into the matrix, folks. I'm telling you, I didn't know what was happening. I still hear Tiffany laughing at me. I didn't know what was happening, Tiffany. And so that's what that's another way you break it to them. That's how you earn that $4 per person. That's how you explain the matrix. Last thing, folks, and real quick, I want to explain this to you. A lot of times we have guests, and when we have guests, we're scared to help them build a list. Our guests are petrified when you talk about build. In fact, I had some new people. It was the cutest thing. I talked to them about building a list and putting together the list. You know how many people that came with the list? I hope they're not on call. But if they are, they know. They came with 5 people. 5 people in a week on the list. And so guess what I had to do, Celestine? I had to take my time to go back because they didn't understand what happens. Most people, when you tell them to build a list, folks, they don't understand our terminology. So they get scared. They think you're supposed to get somebody and do something. Here's some notes to explain to people. I always take my new people and set them aside, and I explain there's only 3 things you can do in this business. Let me explain it to you. 1, you get to travel better for less. Why? Because the suppliers want you to promote their business. And guess what your guests understand? I understand that. Jerome, they said, I understand that. They're going to allow me to go here. I always explain to them, you just don't travel better for less just because they give it to you. Here's the analogy I give when I tell people. I say, let's say you're an accountant and you're going for an interview at Delta Airlines. You're an accountant going to a job interview. When they sit you down and you're going for an accountant job at Delta Airlines, and they ask you, well, Tiffany, why did you decide to interview with us? If you say, well, I came for the flight privileges, you know what they're going to do? They're going to end that interview right there and walk you out the door. Because why? They're hiring you to be an accountant. They're not hiring you to go for flight privileges. They're hiring you to be an accountant. So guess what? I make sure my guests understand this is a business. This is not a membership. This is what you're going to do is you're going to travel better for less to help promote the supplier's business. Now they have understanding that this is a business, but I get to have a 5, 6, 7-star life. They understand that concept. The second thing I tell them is this. You get to make money on other people's travel. And guess what I tell them? I say, imagine a waterfall that's taking place. All the water is coming down, and guess what? You're standing in the midst of it. You're putting yourself in the middle of a transaction that's going to take place. Joy made $16,000 on her sister's wedding. Do you understand? $16,000 on something she was going to do anyway? But they understand, make money. The third thing I tell them is, guess what we're going to do? We're going to talk to your family, friends, co-workers, or people you meet. And guess what we're going to show them? We're going to show them how to do both of those things. So you're going to get to create a network. Now, whether somebody is getting in for travel or Kayla, if they're getting in to build a network, guess why I tell them? Everybody needs to put together a list. And I'd rather have, here's my wording, I'd rather have a partner than a client. Now, why do I tell new people that? Because new people are always apprehensive. And when I say I'd rather have a partner than a client, here's my scenario. Here's my example, Jerome. What I tell them is this. Let's say you were taking your family on a Disney cruise. Everybody knows Disney cruise is probably the most expensive cruise. It's at least $2,000, Stormy. It's at least $2,000 a person to go on a Disney cruise. So let's say you have a family of 4 and you put in together a Disney cruise. And this is why I explain to my new people. And let's say you want to go on a Disney cruise. And let's say I'm the agent, I'm in the business, but I'm not going to show you the plan. But I'm going to book your Disney cruise. So Kayla, I'm gonna charge you $8,000. I'm gonna book your cruise for you. But then Skylar comes along and talks to you and shows you the whole opportunity. And guess what happens, Kayla? You say, yeah, I want to do this. I want to do this business. But then what happens, Kayla, is this. What happens is you find out you could become a Disney specialist. When you become a Disney specialist, all of a sudden you look in the Disney back office, and guess what? You be like Tamir Brooks, Director Tamir Brooks. He took his whole family, for a family of 4, on a Disney cruise for $1,600. Now you paid. I charged you $8,000. Tiffany shaking her head. Look at her, shaking her head. I charged you $8,000. Kayla, you could have came on for $1,600. How do you feel about me now? Is it thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. You like me or you don't like me? You don't like me. You don't like me, right? You don't like me there. Because I charged you $8,000 where I could have gave you the opportunity to get in the business. So that's why I either new people or travel, I say, I'd rather have a partner. But guess what happens if they don't partner with me? They automatically become my client. That's why we're having success in the business, folks, because we go through the new people and we take time on the getting started to explain what we're doing. And then I tell them the last thing I'm going to tell you tonight is 3 outcomes. And number 3, I say, if somebody says no, thank you, guess what? It's no problem. You said no, thank you. I take the fear out of the new people. Most people have a fear of getting rejected. What I do with my new people, when they first get in business, I tell them, read First Year in Network Marketing. And you can find it on PDF. I just want them to read the first chapter, Rejection Rocket. I want to get them prepared to get a no. And more you prepare your new people, the more they understand. And so I tell them, I go through a scenario. In fact, unmute your line real quick when I say your name. Hit it real fast. Carolyn, hit your unmute button. Tiffany, I want you to hit your unmute button. And Dawn, hit your unmute button. And got a question, Tiffany. We're at a diner. I'm the waiter. I'm the waitress or the waitress. Let's say I'm a waitress. I'm a waitress. I come by your table. I ask you, and you tell me real life. Do you drink coffee?
Yes.
Tiffany? You drink coffee. Okay. So would you like some coffee, Tiffany?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Dawn, would you like some coffee? Let's see, Dawn's not there. Carolyn, unmute your mic. Would you like some, Carolyn, do you drink coffee? Would you like some coffee?
Yes.
Carolyn, okay, so in real life, she likes coffee. Who else did I tell to unmute? Say your name, who I told you to unmute. Who's unmute? I told Tiffany. Let's see, who else is there? Dawn, you there? Can you hear me? I can't hear her. Toya,
My
can
name
you
is
hear me,
Sandra,
Toya?
and I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Sandra, you on? Yeah, I hear you, Sandra. Do you like coffee?
Yes, I can drink coffee.
You drink coffee, okay. Who does not like coffee? Raise your hand real quick so I can see. Who does
I
not like
don't.
coffee? Okay, unmute. Michelle, unmute yourself.
I don't.
Michelle. Okay. Drew, who's that? Who said I don't? Who said I don't? Real
Raymond.
quick. Raymond. You don't drink coffee, Raymond. So I went to Tiffany. I went to Sandra. I went to Carolyn. They all say yes. They want some coffee. Now I come to you, Raymond. You say you don't drink coffee. You not only do you tell me no, thank you. Now you're gonna be a little belligerent. I don't drink no coffee. I do not run in the back of the room and take the coffee mug and throw it against the wall and take the glasses and have a fit. Guess what I do? I go as a waitress, I go to the next person and ask, do you like coffee? When you explain this to your new people, guess what they do? Okay, I got it. If they say no, it's no problem. The number two, I ask questions of people who ask questions. Guess what? I tell people we're not a timeshare. I'm not trying to get you to make a $40,000 decision in 1 minute. I'm going to take the time to explain, and I want people to understand. Sherelle, I tell people all the time, Sherelle don't mind me saying this. Sherelle asks questions about everything, but guess what she's asking questions for? She's not questioning me. She's asking questions for clarification. And when your guests ask questions, most of the time they're not questioning you, they're asking for clarification. And then they're the number ones who are ready to go. Guess what? If they're ready to go, guess what I start doing? We don't start talking about what Sunday service is. We don't start talking about going to the park. We don't start talking about the kids. Guess what? When somebody says they're ready to go, first thing I'm doing, I'm going to be around a computer somewhere. If I'm not around a computer, I'm going to call Joy and say, Joy, you buy your computer? And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to sign them up. And guess what my new people understand? Okay, I got it. Only 3 things they could do, only 3 outcomes. And so, folks, I teach them the power of the list. We did this with Tara's group the other night, and guess what happened? There was one lady who said, I ran out of my list. So I said, you ran out of your list? Okay. I said, can you humor me for a second? And this is the final thing, folks. I said, humor me for a second. I said, I got a question for you. You're married, right? And she said, yeah. I said, who is your bridesmaid? So she told me your bridesmaid. I said, don't worry about writing it down. I just asked you some questions. So I wrote it down. I said, got a question for you. Who are all your bridesmaids? You had a maid of honor, but you had some bridesmaids. She told me there's 6 people who were her bridesmaids. I said, okay, I just got a question. I said, got a question. Your husband, he had a groomsman, right? She said, yeah. I said, who's your husband's groomsman? She told me who the groomsman was. I said, I got a question. Did your husband have other groomsmen there? He had a best man, but who were the groomsmen? She said, that was his fraternity brothers. I said, I'm just asking you some questions. I said, you might not know their name, but you might know their line name. What I mean by their line name, they're playing for fraternity. Like this one might be Iced Tea, Ice Cold. This one might be Pookie. This might be High. It could be any name. I said, just put their name. Let's put their names down. We went through this process, folks. She came up in just less than 10 minutes with 25 names when she said, I ran out of all my names. And so what happens is sometimes you just got to take a little bit more time. And so guess what I told her? Let's say we got 25 people, and let's say your ratio, Tonda Seasway talked about it the other week. Guess what happened? Batters have ratio. That means if a batter strikes out so many times or hits the ball, how many times does the batter hits the ball? Let's say you're horrible. And guess what? Out of every 1 time you show the program, every 5 times you show the program, you only hit 1. Every 5 times. Let's say it's just bad. You show the plan, you show the video, and out of every 5 times, you only get 1 person. She had 25 people. So that means out of every 25, she only sponsored 5 people. Now, here's the last point, and this is the most important point to understand, Kayla. let's say them 5 people, so let's say this is you, and let's say you didn't have no idea. You had to show 25, but to find the 5, but you didn't know which 5 it would be. But you do like Melinda Crooks. You meet me at a Mexican restaurant, and you start to talk to me, and guess what happens? All of a sudden, you don't even have to show me a plan. I find out you have a travel business. I don't care if it's 2,000. I don't care if it's 20,000. I'm going to get in regardless. And guess what? You're going to sign me up that night, and I'm not going to see nothing. And guess what happens? I'm one person, but guess what, Norlette? That's 100 people. Minimum 100 people. Guess what happened as a director? I became a director. That's $4 per person in your matrix. That's $400 in your matrix. You only sponsored 5 people, folks. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And guess what? Of those 5, somewhere in that organization, there was a me. Out of those 25 people, you found 5 Dorian joiners. And they all decided, you know what? I don't care what you say or what you're showing me. And guess what? They decided to become directors. And guess what? That's $400 on each one of those, because they each are bringing $100 to the table. Got a question. Whose life could change for $2,000 minimum a month? What is that worth in a year? That's $24,000 minimum that you earned because you showed it to 25 people. What is that worth in 10 years if they never did nothing else but go direct? We're not talking about they put 1,000 people in. We're not talking about they did a Cedric White. They're not talking about a Joy. We're talking about all they did was become a director. Guess what you made? You made $250,000. Guess what? Because you took the shot for 25 people. And you took the time to show the new person and take the fear out of it. And guess what? You showed them how to make the money. A lot of times we rush. A lot of times we don't clarify. Take the time with the new people. Show them the 3 things you can do. Only 3. Explain the 3 outcomes and show them the money, folks. And guess what will happen? You'll make the money. Thanks, Joy. Sorry it went a little over, but I wanted to get that point out to people. That's showing them the money, folks.
Wow, wow, wow. I love it. I love it. I've been getting text messages like, we got it, we got it, we got it. So definitely everybody's clapping. Good, good, good. Okay, we are going to go straight into recognizing our promotions. And goal builders, please, quickly, we want to welcome our new people to the team and also announce any promotions. And I'm going to get started because I had 2 new people to get started this week. I want to welcome Alyssa Smith and also Serena Curry to the team. So welcome them. Goal builders, go right ahead.
This is
Naita
Toya.
Salmon from St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. I personally sponsored Danielle Kelly out of Lexington, Ohio.
This is
Right.
Toya in Chicago. I personally sponsored John Gatling and Miss Harris. And I have a new Gold Builder Plus, which is Sonia and Jerome Davis.
Awesome. Who's next?
This is Renee Crawford. I'd like to welcome to the team Carolyn Whitaker out of New Jersey, who is personally sponsored by Laurel Francis out of St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands.
Awesome, awesome.
Hi, this is Kat Hines out of Cleveland, Ohio. I want to welcome Tracy Thompson out of Harrisburg, PA, personally sponsored by Karima Abdul Salam. I want to welcome Vioka Green from Lawrenceville, Georgia, personally sponsored by Karima Abdul Salam. And Theron Grant out of Atlanta, Georgia, personally sponsored by Karima, and that makes Karima a bronze builder. Congratulations on your REC promotion.
Awesome, awesome.
This is Sonia Davis from Louisville, Kentucky. I
Yeah.
would like to welcome Kayla Priester out of Louisville, Kentucky.
And this is Jerome Davis out of Louisville, Kentucky. I want to welcome Spike Davis out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Welcome, welcome.
Awesome. This is Sandy Myricks out of Los Angeles, and I'm stepping in for Gold Builder Dorothy Fleming. I'd like to welcome newly sponsored Stacy Bowen from beautiful Jamaica, sponsored by Michael Edwards.
Awesome, awesome. International. Who else do we have?
Greetings, this is McKenna from San Diego, and I'd like to welcome to the team Portia Smith from Las Vegas, Nevada, and she was personally sponsored by Tiffany Tharp.
Welcome, welcome. All right. Who else? Going once, going twice?
Let's see. Director Dawkins, Tara, are you there? Corey or Selena?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. You want to tell the new person, Myrna?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Miss Myrna I'd like to welcome Miss Myrna Batson from DeSoto, Texas, personally sponsored by myself.
All right. Congratulations and welcome.
Also want to welcome Sharon Strickland, sponsored by Brenda Gray. And want to, I saw Sherelle on there, but want to welcome also Christian Snyder, sponsored by Shanique Stinson. And I'd like to welcome April Brumley, personally sponsored by Angie and myself.
Awesome. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? Promotions? And welcome new people.
Hi, Joy. This is Tanya. I am welcoming Monique Johnson to our team. Dawn is having issues. She can't come in. So again, this is Tanya Gorham. I'm welcoming Monique Johnson to the team, sponsored by myself, out of California, the Bay Area.
Awesome. Very good. Very good. All right. Last time. I love it. I love it. Okay, well, we are, I'm just wrapping up. I just want to thank you, Dorian Joyner, phenomenal. That was broken down. I'm sure everybody understands now. And they've already asked me for the recording, so I will post it. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other announcements, anything pressing other than convention? We'll talk about that next week. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I appreciate you for spending your time, for sharing your lives, and for building your dreams.
Director Dawkins? Saturday.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Saturday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you. Super Saturday, we are going to have the #1 income earner in all of Planet Marketing. That is none other than Mrs. Natalie Graham. She became our #1 income earner in February, and she is moving. So she is going to be interviewed on a Super Saturday. Not only, you have to be on, but get your guest on. I am telling people, oh my goodness, she is under 40. She is just blazing a trail and earning over $100,000 per month. Don't you want to hear what she has to say? Who doesn't want to hear what she has to say? So go ahead and register now so you can get on and you're not locked out. Thank you. Y'all needed to hear that. Okay, anything else? Well, I appreciate you. Continue having an amazing night, and we'll see you next Thursday. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Okay. Good night, Joy. Great. It was really great.
Good night.
Good night.
Director Joyner.
Night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.